There are a lot of things out there that are furry.
Oh, yes.
We're both kind of furry. But people like to know about how to paint fur, and you are going to show us in this video about your techniques. Quick and easy techniques, possibly.
There are many men with fur in the various fantastical worlds, so today we're going to cover wolf pelts. Yeah, just so it'd be some wet blending, some washing, a little highlighting, a little more washing, and working with just a textured surface and kind of providing some insight into how that can all work.
Sweet.
It's easy. Hey everybody, we are back again. Samson with Tabletop Minions. This time we're going to do a tutorial video on painting fur. I'll be using the same model from the last base building video. So, here we go. I'm just going to give you a little close-up of the colors in use. We've got some Vallejo black and white, and then everything else is P3. That's Exile blue mixed into the black. Let me just check these. Armble umber for the dark brown and bootstrap leather. And then finally, I think this is jackbone for that white. So yeah, and this is going to be based around wet blending a lot because we're working with a really textured area, so it's kind of easy to just smash things into place. So yeah, there's our fur and our mini, and what I'm going for is a wolf pelt. So if you've ever seen a wolf in real life, they're black on the back and white on the belly with kind of a brown fade in the middle. So I'm going to take my deepest blue and start it right up here between the model's shoulder blades. And if you didn't catch any of the other last videos, you see me dipping into this mixture off to the side. It is distilled water and an acrylic retardant to extend the dry time. It should really help you out with, especially in this area, with the wet blending. So there's my blackety blue layer, and the next color up, we'll do this dark brown. And you can see the texture is just really kind of grabbing the paint and keeping it where I want it to go. You know, the blend doesn't really have to be that smooth if the surface is so rough. So, whoops. All right, so we got the blackety blue and then the deep brown, moving up to bootstrap leather. Kind of see it going in a progressive rainbow of brown. All right. You can see that moving further up our brown rainbow. I'm pulling out some of the jackbone. And you can see the wet blend happening there now, some of the lighter colors. It becomes a little more apparent. Kind of pulls some of the old wet colors from the last bar of the rainbow into the new bar. I didn't think that I was going to be defining this as painting with a rainbow when I walked in here, but that seems to be accurate. And all right, the final band of your wet blended loop. A little retardant and water, and I'm going to add the white. Looks good. So that's the first step there. Now you want to let all this dry, and our next step will be to apply some of the highlighting and then a wash. And yeah, so I'll be back with the next step in a snap. All right, back in a snap. So the next step, I just want to say, you're going to see this, me holding this miniature in my fingers. It is simply because I forgot to bring the piece I wanted to attach it to. So Don't get the wrong idea. It is much easier to paint a miniature when it's attached to some kind of base, handle, etc. So, just listen to the video and don't do what you see. So here we are, sitting after everything's all dried up. A nice wet blend on this figure from Enigma. So the next step, before I'm going to do my ink wash, I want to apply some slight highlights to, so that ink wash is going to filter through a little something. Just taking kind of a step ahead in the highlighting before I ink wash it. I'm just mixing a little bit of ivory in with this white. I'm gonna mix up a gray. So I got some white here and then that blue-black to mix in. That's gonna be my highlight color for the deep black part between the shoulder blades. So, take it like so, take a little bit of paint off the brush. If you want to know terminology-wise, I believe people call this overbrushing, where you're not quite dry brushing, but you just have a little bit of paint on your brush, semi-wet, and you're pulling it, in a direction, so just the raised areas are catching. Kind of see the highlights coming in there. Yep, like so. I'll do these areas above the shoulder. Just a little bit more right up here. It's got that black highlighted. And then I mixed up that white and ivory color, and that's going to be my intermediary between like the bootstrap leather, jackbone, white blend. So, take some of that and then just do the overbrushing again. All right. You can see how quickly I'm doing this. I'm not really taking too much time because I'm going to ink wash it and then improve upon what comes out of that ink wash. Yeah. It's nice. Just keeping light sourcing in mind, I'm adding a few more highlights to his upper shoulders. A little more exposed. Sorry, I bumped the camera. Yeah, starting to come along. Looks good already. So, next step, like I said, is going to be the ink wash. That's going to be our trusty FW ink. What color am I working with exactly? People want to know. Sepia. All right, so I'll be back after I apply this ink wash. All right, we're back. Here you can see the mini after the sepia ink wash. And the next step is to go and kind of pick out. So when we did that wet blend, we went from black to white, right? And then we put a wash over it. Now what we want to do is pull the white back out. Just on the edges of the fur. If you look at the mini here, I will show you. Alrighty. A lot of cool texture on this model, so just kind of pick out the very edges. As always, visual reference is a good idea. Look up a picture of a wolf online. But yeah, and then of course the black-blue area that we did, that can use a little highlighting as well. Kind of make things look right. And you can always jump back to some of your old colors too if you covered up some of that texture. Like say this white highlight in the black part's too strong for my taste. I'll take some watered down black and blue, put it right over there, kind of bring them back down. Maybe leave a little bit of that white showing. Like you see this little white tip here. Kind of brush it away from some way along the midpoint of that white blend. But yeah, I'm just gonna keep dabbing on the final white highlights, and this is pretty much done. So we'll come back once I finish all the white highlights, so you don't have to watch every brush stroke. All right, we're back, and this is the end, my friends. I just applied all the white highlights. After the final stage of putting all the white frosted tips on this beautiful wolf pelt, this is what we wound up with. I'll show you in video, and we'll splice in a finished shot too that I take in a light box so you can really see what's going on. But as you can see, it came together pretty nicely, and all the steps that we used, I think a lot of them could be repeated to increase your results. A lot of the time with good painting, saturation is the key. You know, you've seen me literally everything I did. One wet blend, the ink wash, the white highlight. There's one little step I did off camera with the black and blue. I took a watered down version of that and kind of spread it back over the black and blue area. You can do that with all the blends. After you've wet blended it and it dries, you know, take one of the shadow colors and make a wash, and it'll sink in all the texture and all that. But yeah, that's how I went about painting the fur on this mini, and I hope you all enjoyed and end up painting your own furs. A lot of different fur out there. That's how I do wolf pelts. So thanks again to everybody at Tabletop Minions. It's been a great time, and I'm Samson. You can see my work at samsonminis.blogspot.com, and we will have more videos for you, so keep watching, and thanks for all the comments too. I really enjoy reading those, so I'll see you around.